Welcome to another edition of Max Flat Earth. Hold on tight, folks. Here we go.
July 20th, 1969. It is said that 500 million people gathered at TV sets around the world to wait for the first Earthling to set foot on the moon. Countless millions more listened on the radio to the voices from the moon.
This Neil, radio check. Neil, this is Houston, loud and clear. Break, buzz.
Never before had so many people been attuned to one event at one time. The world waited, curious, wondering, aware, like a sleeper wakened in the night by a faraway sound. A moment sensed, more than understood.
What? Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming. Okay, I just checked. Getting back up to that first step. That isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up. Roger, we copy. Pretty good little jump. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The lamb footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Folks, here's Max here. Welcome to this edition of Flat Earth. In this edition, we will deal with the moon, the first and the last. See for yourself the absurdity of it all. How one can fool another. The moon landings. You saw the first, now here's the last. Listen carefully, everyone. The answer is in the words spoken. Stay tuned, folks, and listen carefully. I may have some rebuttals on and on in this very clip.
December 6, 1972. Eugene Cernan, veteran astronaut and commander of Apollo 17. He would be the last Apollo astronaut to stand on the surface of the moon. Dr. Harrison Schmitt, better known as Jack. He would be the first geologist to set foot on an alien world.
Did you hear that? The first geologist on the moon on the last of the landings. Absurdity. This man should have been
Ronald
the first on the moon.
Command module pilot. He would remain in lunar orbit, operating a battery of experiments that would take this last close look at the moon. In the year 1675, Sir Isaac Newton was asked by his fellow scientist, Robert Hooke, how he had accomplished so much. "If I have seen further," Newton wrote, "it is by standing on the shoulders of giants."
Sir Isaac Newton, one of the biggest quacks ever born.
First stage propellant tanks have been pressurized. The engines will build up to a thrust of 7.6 million pounds. T-minus 30 seconds. We have a cutoff. We have a cutoff at T-minus 30 seconds. This cutoff was automatic, done by the sequencer.
One command, pressurized S4B stage, was not given. And despite the fact that it was going to be done manually, the sequencer, in effect, said, I didn't tell you to do it, and therefore you can't be doing it. So at certain seconds, it very properly stopped the operation. Most of the work was being done right off the firing room in the Launch Control Center at Kennedy. However, there was a great deal of support in the Marshall Space Flight Center, who had a comparable operational group working there with their contractors. So we concluded that we were safe, and we gave the word to jump route to one signal and proceed, which we did.
Drama, folks. In every American tale, there's tragedy and drama. Don't let the voices fool you. Pay real good attention here, folks. There is no delay in their communication, as if everything works perfect in space. I can't even get a call to go through here to my neighbor without the phone being cut off. What's up with that?
17 Houston, you are go for orbit. Go for orbit.
Those are kind words, Robert. We're go for orbit here.
After checking out the spacecraft in Earth orbit, they burned out of orbit and headed toward the moon.
Houston, we're right in the middle of a snowstorm. We're not there yet. Long way.
Ron Evans, at the controls of the Command Module America, moved in to dock with the lunar module Challenger. They pulled Challenger free of the booster's third stage, then continued the 3-day coast to the moon.
Yes. ATM. Echo.
Even as Cernan, Evans, and Schmidt headed toward the moon, directly below the Apollo 17 control room, Flight Director Don Putty ran his crew through a launch simulation for the first Skylab.
As you're probably well aware, we are still working on other programs, Skylab being the prime effort starting in the spring of next year. We're also working on the cooperative mission with the Russians, which will take place in 1975. And of course, we've got quite a few of the flight control team as well as other center elements involved in the work on the shuttle. So it's the start of a new era.
Here next is how they're preparing for their next move, and how they're going to fool the world that they landed on the moon. Therefore, ISS is born. And like they say, the show must go on.
Certainly be a busy one from the standpoint
one lie after another. The apocalypse
December 10,
of all
1972.
lies.
America and Challenger went into orbit around the moon.
Houston, this is America. You can breathe easier. America has arrived on station for the challenge ahead.
The next day, December 11th, Cernan and Schmidt entered the lunar module and undocked.
Look here, folks, at all the graphics of something supposed to be real. Take a look at how everyone was fooled with cartoons. NASA's fake CGI effects, and not very good at that as well.
Roger, America. Have a good burn. You're loud and clear.
With the command module
Get
in the
ready,
distance,
everybody.
they passed
They're going
over
to
their
land
landing
this
place,
piece of shit.
a valley
Tin
in an area
can.
of the moon called
Sorry,
Litro.
my bad.
Here they hope
Language,
to
that
find the
is.
youngest material yet sampled and direct evidence of lunar volcanoes.
You're looking real good, Gene. Right down the line.
Oh man, we're level with the top of the seats now. Okay, stand by for pitch over. Oh, are we coming in? There it is, proceeded. And there it is, Houston, there's Camelot. Wow, target, I see it. We got them all. 42 degrees, 37 degrees, to 5,500.
Wow. There you go. One flip and everything is fine. We're going to land now. Ready to go. It's incredible how people can be so naive and fall for this shit.
Fuel is good. Going down at 10. Cut the 8 dot. Your fuel's good. 110 feet. Stand by for some dust. Little forward, G. Little forward a little. 90 feet. Little forward velocity. 80 feet. Going down at 3.
A little dust, he said, from a 10,000-pound thrust engine, one that may dig its own grave and bury them all. If we're lucky, bury the whole flight and the lies along with it.
Feels good. 20 feet. Going down at 2. 10 feet. 10 feet. Contact. Stop, push. Engine stop. Okay, Houston, the Challenger has landed.
Roger, Challenger, that's super.
Houston, you can tell America that Challenger is a Taurus Littrow.
The can of sardine
December
landed.
11th.
Let's have lunch,
Cernan,
everyone.
then Schmidt
I'm
left the
hungry.
lunar module to begin their first EVA.
Pass the tang, will you? Fill me a glass. I love that orange stuff.
We'd like to dedicate the first step
Dirt or otherwise.
17 to all those who made it possible.
Their first job was to unload equipment, including their rover, the electric car in which they would drive to the exploration sites.
That's beautiful.
Oh shit.
It's gotta be
There
one of
goes
the
that
most
flag
moments of my
again.
life, I guarantee you.
Must have been a good breeze up there. Who
Thank you very
farted?
much.
Sorry, but I gotta find
As
some
Cernan
humor
drove
in
the
all this
equipment-laden
tragedy.
rover, Schmidt carried the scientific experiments package called ALSEP.
Hey, do you need me, Gene? Nope. I'm gonna go deploy an ALSEP. Have at it.
In Houston, scientists in the science support room watched, correlating and directing their movements.
Okay, Bob, I've got my tools of the trade right here.
As Schmidt set up the various experiments, Cernan drilled a series of holes, both to collect core samples and to implant experimental probes.
Man, we're out in the ejected blanket of Camelot for sure now. Yeah.
Man, it didn't feel like this stuff was that hard. No, I'll get it. I knew there was something. I
The
needed.
first
Get the jacket
geologist
over here.
on the moon. Practiced a little bit in Nevada, where he did all his training. You know, Area 51?
I'm gonna get this thing out now that I got it.
That's quite the moonwalk, wouldn't you say?
Boys, you know, that's what they call
Michael
getting down and
Jackson
do
would
work.
be so proud. Jeez. He's better than he is.
Yeah, it's 29 and a half minutes from now, but remember, they left this side a little bit late.
There it is. Okay.
Jim, you better make it clear to Parker that we got to pull out.
On the moon and on the Earth, they were fighting time now. There are just so many hours of oxygen and water in the backpacks. So many hours of life in the vacuum of the moon.
We're up in this area.
Watch that cable. Cable. Watch the cable.
Table number one.
They're part of the cable system that supports the astronaut got tangled up, and they passed it off as if it was
With the
equipment
LSEP
failure
functioning,
of some
they left the
sort.
site for a shortened sampling traverse.
Well, many
Holy
parts of the LSEP
shit.
are functioning very well.
Is that Baphomet the
The
goat?
equal experiment is
Like I
working
said,
excellently.
folks,
It's transmitting
some
back
humor
to
here.
data. The,
And if
cooling
you haven't
down
got
is
an ounce of
still cooling down
humor in
from
you,
the
you must be
drilling
quite
process. In a few
miserable.
hours, they should be starting to get true heat flow information.
Let's see if I can't crack the corner and get that contact. See if I can't get it.
Look at the boulders out there.
It was time to head back to the Challenger, activate experiments, and get back inside.
Man.
Get back inside and check the heaters and the air conditioner. Make sure everything is functioning correctly. It's so hot and cold out there. I hope the energy supply you brought along is sufficient enough to keep you cool or hot.
As the astronauts
Right away.
rested, engineers in
Stay
Toulouse
safe.
were working out technical
Stay
problems
cool.
of the Apollo
Stay hot.
Soyuz test program. The first
Here,
joint
they're going to be
Russian-American
joining
space
forces with Russia. You know, the other partner in the
Prime
games they
purpose of
play.
the Apollo Soyuz joint
The
mission
games they play to
is
fool
about a
everyone.
docking system.
That includes the Cold War, everyone.
Operation.
Theater for everyone. Don't let me nuke you and blast you right out of the
More than that,
sky.
it has certainly a symbolic meaning of these
Look
two
at this
large
city
powers
eye crap,
learning
folks.
to work together
Really.
in ways that I believe
Take
are
a
the
good
new
look.
seas of mankind's new
Can you tell the
frontiers,
difference
and work out solutions
between reality
when,
and
although
an
we're very
illusion?
competitive, we can still be cooperative and assist each other, and I think that this Apollo Soyuz program stands for just that.
Oh, what a nice day. Oh, funny, there's not a cloud in the sky, except in the earth. Think that'll stop the dust, don't we?
They would have one task before they got to work exploring. The previous day, they had broken a rear fender of the rover. The dust thrown up was causing trouble. Apollo 16 commander John Young
Using
had worked
duct
that
tape
night
to
in a
fix
pressure
shit
suit
on the
on a
moon.
way to fix the fender.
Reminds me of an Al Green show.
On the moon,
Where's crap
the
on the
astronauts put
television?
it together. The fender
Again,
section
my
formed
bad.
from a lunar map, molded with
The
tape,
anger got the best
then
of me
held in
again.
place with clamps from the Lunar Module Telescope. It was a repair that would last the remainder of the mission. Then Schmidt moved out to place one of several explosive packages which would be detonated after they left the moon, mapping the lunar subsurface, much as earthly geologists explore for oil. Cernan would pick him up in the rover for the drive to the first site on this traverse, Station 2.
They're somewhere along this rim where they can see.
Just imagine an enormous pipeline coming from the moon, reaching the Earth.
Where we wanted to be
And don't
for
think
Station 2.
what the minerals on
Looks
the
like a
moon
great place.
really mean to us.
Big
They
blocks. It
mean
looks like quite a bit of
absolutely
variety from here.
nothing.
Different colors anyway. Pretty hard, isn't it? That boulder's gonna roll.
Stop messing around, you guys,
Man,
and
that
get
is
back
hard.
to work. There's only so much
Don't
air,
stub
you
your
know.
toe.
Jeez, so much time. We're not gonna make it.
The foreground features are somewhat different, simply because they were farther up onto the hill, I think. But otherwise, that's remarkable.
Pottery, it's obviously very cohesive because the bottom of the core is not smooth, it's very jaggedy and fragmental-like.
Dean's finished with the core tube, then we should be able to go.
If we get that figured out.
No, dadgummit.
Jack Schmidt having a few problems.
They would sample several locations on this EVA, but none would cause more excitement
Well,
than the
here
find
comes
that
the
critter
orange stuff
called
again.
Shorty.
Someone must have spilled a glass of tan on the moon. Here comes the orange dirt. What a waste of tan and the efforts thereof.
Orange! I'll hold it till I see it. I've stirred it up with my feet. Hey, it is! I can see it from here. It's orange.
The joke of the day, folks. Everyone's having a ball.
Fantastic.
Not the Earth ball, I mean the moon.
It's trench time. Jack, that is really orange.
I think it's the most exciting we've come across since the beginning of the Apollo program. I believe that it's going to be the most rewarding of all the finds on Apollo.
Light gray material on either side. Oh man, that's incredible. Okay, Gene, we're gonna have to.
And I thought the moon was made of cheese. Who knew it was all tan?
No matter which way you want to do it, we need more time. We may have to split. We have to split 5 in a little bit.
He's getting about 3 centimeters of wax.
They got to leave at a certain time regardless of what we got.
willing to give up all the white men.
They gotta leave a certain
They
time
had to leave
regardless
Shorty
of what
Crater
they
and
got.
exploring soil and push on.
What the hell did you go up there for in the
enemy
first
of the
place?
lunar investigator on the
Was
moon
it that
and on
maybe you will get something or not? Come on. Ridiculous.
The precious minutes had run out. Return to the rover.
Here
fly
you
back
have
to
the cutoff
Challenger,
points
close out
of a
EVA-2.
stage and its background. The painted background, that is. Take a look, folks. You can see the line pretty good here.
My golly, this time goes fast.
As the last Apollo crew worked on the moon, the engineers on Earth prepared for tomorrow's day in space.
I have a model here of the space shuttle. As you see it,
There you go, folks. They're working on the shuttle, the next fakery of the world. ISS and the shuttle. What a joke. And guess what? The joke's on you and me and everybody else in misery.
The need is to bring larger arrays of instrumentation up in space. The need to provide man with a real capability to work up in space.
Again, and here, you can see the cutoff point pretty good. Can you tell the illusion?
As I step out onto the plains of Torres Littoral, beautiful valley.
December 13th. Yesterday, they had explored the south end of the valley. Today, they would go north.
Yeah, well, let's ask for an extension. Hey, Dick, this is the last time for you to really go to bat for us, Dick. We know you'll do
Just
it for us.
imagine all the money and energy they spent on this, on the big lie, and what this money and energy could have done for humanity here on Earth. And all the suffering, wars, destruction, famine. Do they really care about anybody else but themselves? Think about it, folks.
Apollo science
Yeah,
will continue.
sure they do.
And I'm sure, you might say, the mysteries will continue to come out for many years to come.
But of this I'm sure. Man has learned that space is his to explore. And man will return to space to explore, to the moon and beyond.
There you go, folks. You just said it.
I'm firmly
The
convinced
bullshit
that
will
it's
go
changed
on
the whole
forever
basis of
and ever.
philosophy, including
That's
religion.
it. You know, stop them.
I don't think that we've begun to see
Create a better
what
world
the era of
for
spaceflight
ourselves.
really is.
Let's
We've
stop
got a long
all
way
the
to go,
lies and bring
I
forth
hope I'm living when we
reality
leave this solar
for
system on a venture to
everyone.
find another planet Earth.
You know, Jack, when we finish with Station 8, we will have covered this whole valley from corner to corner. That was the idea.
Once more, it was time. Gene Cernan and Jack Schmidt returned to the rover to drive back to Challenger. But before they left the surface of the moon, there would be a brief ceremony.
It's a rock composed of many
I hope that's not an orange tank rock. The fuckers are gonna eat it on the way home. Sorry, I just had to.
or some of the others like it to Houston. We'd like to share a piece of this rock with so many of the countries throughout the world. We hope that this will be a symbol of what our feelings are, what the feelings of the Apollo program are, and a symbol of mankind that we can live in peace and harmony in the future.
And a final word from the last man on the moon.
I'd like to just let what I believe history will record, that America's challenge of
Take a good look, folks. Who stayed behind to film everything? Who's taking the pictures here? Come on now. How gullible can one be?
While Cernan and Schmidt closed out the last moonwalk and prepared for tomorrow's liftoff, Ron Evans worked on in orbit. Photograph, observe, describe. Keep operating the cameras and experiments in the Science Experiments Bay. In orbit, as on the surface, the seconds are precious.
Possibility of mistake. How is the experiment working now?
It's working extremely well. We're looking for subsurface geologic structure in a broad sense, layering, for example.
The infrared scanning radiometer.
What does that do?
The radiometer measures the temperature of the moon and makes an accurate map of the temperature beneath the spacecraft. And it is working with tremendous success.
One other thing, how is the experiment working mechanically as far as the man and machine?
The experiment itself, the hardware is working perfectly, precisely the way it was supposed to work. Everything is functioning properly. An important part of the experiment is that it requires the man to operate it.
There you go, folks. There's that guy again they left on the moon, taking pictures of the takeoff. How wonderful. Must be waiting for a taxi back home. How ridiculous can one be?
I hear you have good thrust. Okay, 30 seconds. 308 your number. Stay coming through 1,500 feet, and H-dot looks good.
On the descent stage of Challenger, forever on the moon.
Here he is again, filming some more scenes made for television. Are you enjoying this show?
December 1972 AD. May the spirit of peace in which we came be reflected in the lives of all mankind.
Look at this crap.
Cernan and Schmidt.
How ridiculous can you get? I think Bugs Bunny did a better job when he landed on the moon. That's all, folks. That was terrible. Not my best impersonation of Woody Woodpecker.
December 16th. Burn out of lunar orbit and head home to Earth.
Houston, America has found some fair winds and following seas, and we're on our way home. Hey, this is great. Talk about being a spaceman. This is it.
December 17th, 170,000 miles from Earth. Ron Evans left the command module.
This appears to be the first time in the water tank. Testing the water, so to speak.
Okay. Hey, John, how you doing? Hi, Jamie.
Evans was retrieving film canisters from the two cameras and the lunar sounding radar. Data vital to the scientists on Earth.
At this point in time, you have to put all the egos aside and dig deep inside your soul and ask questions. Many questions.
December 19th.
Remember this, folks, at 660 degrees Celsius, aluminum melts, and close to 2,000 degrees, iron melt as well. I think the re-entry is going to get pretty hot. And how does that work when you're rapidly falling towards Earth in a tin can, no thicker than a cardboard box? Again here, folks. How ridiculous can one be? Come on now. Clap full of clowns out there. They did such a wonderful job. And here comes the three stooges, Moe, Larry, and Curly. Pass the cigars, everyone. The moon just had a baby, and they named it ISS.
This closes a golden chapter in the age of space exploration. In a way, it brings a close to what has been a very romantic era in space exploration. But I want to make this very strong. The book is still being written.
I have seen enough bullshit on this earth.
The moon.
Last me
A
10
lonely world in
lifetimes.
the absence of man.
When will it end?
But here we have left our mark.
All the
A
lives.
signature attesting
thereof.
a legacy to future generations. We stood on the shoulders of giants and touched the moon.
There will be a time when people say, enough is enough. And I believe that we have come upon this crossroad in this life. Are we going to change this? Or are we going to remain the same? That, my friends, is entirely up to you. To the moon, Alice. To the moon. Can you hear me, Houston? No one in their right state of mind believes the word you say. As a child, I often asked myself and wondered, what was this life all about? And after they tried to brainwash me with religion and their education, which I rebelled against, I would not have any of it and put up a fight. And this began a journey of true discovery. I was to find out what this life was all about and what I must do next for humanity. And the very day they landed on the moon, I saw an escape from this world. I said, this I would reach, the unknown. And then one day I woke up and realized that space did not even exist at all. And once again was left in the wonder of it all. What is it all for? And then and on, I went into a deep depression, wanting to take my life over and over again, wondering what the fuck is this all for? And then it wasn't until one day when I realized what I must do, and I must do it for humanity, of course, and made a choice. I sacrificed all and began my journey to this, a new world to be. And therefore, at this point in time, I must ask these questions. When will it end? When will we stop this tyranny from invading our lives, making slaves of us, and taking everything we own, mind and body as well? Is it enough that you have suffered so, but to let your children suffer on is beyond me? Therefore, I'm still searching for the true creator or creators of this world and our reality. Look to Zion and the Zionists for all your answers, and until we stop them, we will never have peace, liberty, or justice for anyone here on earth, or anybody. The choice is yours to make. What will it be? And here I leave you with a little clip to cheer you up. I hope it makes you day and makes you think twice about tomorrow. Here is a Brazilian boy and his dog, and their friendship thereof. How wonderful to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. trusted you? Should I have made this call? Or should I even wait at all? Should I have held you tight when we crossed paths that night? Should I have made you stay for once and for all? Tell me now, how many times should I ask, how do you feel? Is there an answer here for real? I know that this feeling is deep in this heart of mine. Jano, let's start seeing a moment. And how many children would you have to pull apart? Why not combine them with our hearts? Deep down I know that must be hurting too. When I said, let's bring this all through. Should I have faith in you? Should I have trusted you? Should I have made this call? Or should I even wait at all? Should I have held you tight when we crossed back the night? Should I have made you stay for once and for all? Tell me now, na 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 na, yeah. Come on over my way. Don't you wait another day. Prince, I have faith in you. Should I have trusted you? Should I have made this call? Or should I even wait at all? Should I have held you tight when we crossed back the night? Should I have made you stay for once and for all? No, 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 yeah. Come on over my way. Don't you wait another day.
This has been a Maximilian presentation, the moon landing, the first and the last. I hope you have enjoyed this edition of Flat Earth. Enjoy, everyone, and have a great day. Stay safe and golden, and on spin the word. Give a helping hand, will you? Flat Earth, the movement. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with everyone you know. Thank you.